An interview with Charlie Poole by Tim Dotter. This is an interview I made on the phone with Charlie Poole on October 8, 2017. The Referee's Call is a clothing company specializing in officiating equipment and apparel. The founder was Ted Thomas, a WAC conference football official and a Big 8 baseball umpire. Ted started the company in back of his father's Napa parts store to provide local officials with proper officiating equipment and clothes. Charlie Poole is now the owner of the store, and he's officiated football, basketball, and slow pitch softball for over 40 years. The first question I asked Charlie in the interview was, what made you want to own this business? He talked about how much he enjoyed the officiating world and the relationships you make with other fellow officials, so he enjoyed getting to know other officials through this business. Charlie also mentioned about being part of the store from the beginning and knew of its success. Since he ran the store for several years, he knew it was a good business to have, so he didn't hesitate when buying out the previous owner. Being part of it from the beginning and being official, it was something that he loved to do. I asked Charlie what were the hardest hurdles to overcome in building this business. He told me learning to control inventory using past sales records was not a good indicator. Charlie told me it was clear in his response to the question that inventory is so difficult to figure out and what to keep on the shelf and the quantity to buy. Were there competitors to contend with in this business, and what have you done to compete with them? Charlie mentioned that there is strong competitors in this market, but he made a point to say that the number one thing you need to look at is taking care of your customers first. They're your top priority. And then the last thing he said is get feedback on how we can take back care of the customer. No matter what the person says, you can always improve on the suggestions that they make. Like many business owners will say, you always take care of the customer first. What makes your business successful? Charlie mentioned several times about having good customers to work for. He also mentioned about growing up in a little town in southeastern Oklahoma called Savannah, Oklahoma, as an only child on a farm. He learned the importance of hard work there. Charlie said to also keep a good working environment for the store. He emphasized about putting God first with everything. And finally, he said to never put the company in front of your family. Charlie said that he would not have been successful if it wasn't for his wife Beth, who he met while going to school at OSU in Stillwater. I asked Charlie, what is the biggest mistake you've made as a business owner? He told me that one time the state of Arkansas was changing the official shirts from 1-inch stripe to 2-inch stripe, so he'd ordered enough for a complete change out. At the last minute, the state allowed the officials to take 2 years before they had to change their shirts out. He ended up with an overstock and eventually sold the items, but the inventory was off because the decision he made was out of his control. Sometimes businesses are involved in decisions that are out of their control. The important thing is to know how to adapt and move on. Hopefully mistakes that are made are not too expensive to the company. My final question to Charlie was, what do you know today that you wish you would have known when you first got started as a business owner? Charlie told me the easiest part of the company was filling the shelf with stock. The hard part was dealing with Uncle Sam. Learning the rules and regulations was on-the-job training for him. He had to learn some tax laws that included keeping up with out-of-pocket expenses. The best thing he did was hiring a trusted accountant who knew the regulations for tax situations. I thought Charlie was very open with his interview. This man is very proud of his company and has always showed the utmost integrity. He is always talking about how important the clientele is to him. In starting a company, I feel you need to find out as much as a person can on how to run the company and to look for whatever might come into play. Things will happen that is out of one's control, so always be prepared to adapt. The interview enlightened me on what it's like to own your own company. It was a pleasure to interview Charlie Poole, and I consider him a dear friend of mine. And I hope that you learned a little bit about his company, The Referee's Call.